Smith, bouncer, boxer, bodybuilder, and believer that we can all be happy. And I'm here with my good friend, Fouad Alaouze. And he's a super good friend of mine, and we've had some great discussions. So I'm super excited and I've been super excited all day to talk to him about happiness. And so let's talk happiness.
Hi, Ben. Good to see you again. I haven't seen you for a while.
And why did I see you? Because you're in Mexico playing, having fun, living the good life.
Yeah, it was a really good opportunity for growth for me, and I did lots of spiritual growth down there.
Nice.
So, as well as it was a lot of fun. So my question to you before we start on this, Ben, is what is your intention behind this?
Well, I am the question asker, but I will answer that. So so Charlene asked me this before, and honestly, it's taken me a lot of time to find my own happiness and to be really centered within myself, and I'm living a good life. I'm happy. I don't know. I would like to see everybody kind of come closer to being happy, and I think everybody can, but I think we need to all help each other and share each other's stories and maybe share each other's strategies and ideas about it, and that will hopefully help us all along. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that's good. I really believe that communication with other people and connecting with other souls is very important. It's one of our embedded kind of mission to do that. We are all connected, and to be able to share things, especially from a positive karma point of view, it really helps people have a better life. And I mean by people is your soul as well as your personality. Nice. So I think it's great that you're doing that, Ben.
Cool. Awesome. Well, like I said, I'm really excited to talk to you. And you and I have had some great discussions about spirituality and happiness and joy. And, my tagline for this is, let's talk happiness. And I know that we had some discussion earlier about happiness and using the word happiness. So do you have some particular thoughts about that?
Well, it's funny. As soon as you said that, all that came up in my mind.
Let's talk happiness.
All that came up with my mind is me remembering watching on TV the news where Mr. Chrétien, he said happiness all the time, and so when you said that, I had that flashback. But happiness obviously is a good state for you to be in, and for you to carry on your life.
Absolutely.
So it's very important to not just to be in that, like person like yourself, but also I think I think people seek that, and I just want to clear for myself and for people the difference between happiness and joy. Happiness to me is more the feeling that your personality achieves by having a positive outcome of some sort of event or some sort of objective. So whether it's buying a new car, buying a new house, buying a bigger TV, people get happy about that. But truly, not the opposite, but the other feeling that you might not be thinking about is joy. And joy is the feeling that you have from your heart. And when you have it from your heart, that actually is a connection to your soul. So joy would be being compassionate, being trustworthy, being all the joyful things, being forgiving, loving. All those different things that bring joy to your soul. So it's good for me, anyways, to have that clear. What's bringing me happiness and what's bringing me joy, and how can I combine the two in my life?
Okay, well, I agree with you, and I love what you just said. And so my first question with people is like, what makes you happy, or what puts a smile on your face? But maybe the better question for you in particular is what brings you joy and what puts a smile on your face.
So I thought I was going to address that, say exactly the way you're addressing it. So so what makes me happy and what brings joy to my life, and those are two different things. And I think those things are, to me anyways, again, in my experience in my life and where I am in my life, I'm going to be 66 soon. I have, looking back in my life, I've had lots of happiness and I've had lots of joy. But back then, I didn't really understand the difference between the two. So I'm sure I was very happy when I got my promotion. I'm sure I was very happy when my first, job came along. But I was really joyous when my firstborn came.
Mm.
I was really joyous when the mother of my children, my wife and I got together. I was so now looking back, I can tell the difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is kind of instant ramifications, like a sugar high. Boom, got my car, yes. But having children and feeling love is the real connection, the real joy that we all appreciate. And I certainly try to live my life that way.
So just on a side note, this is why I had to talk to Fouad, because see, we have these great conversations, and he's like, he always adds these tidbits of wisdom to things. So that is a great. I loved what you just said, and I couldn't agree more. But back to pulling it back a little bit, what simply puts a smile on your face?
Let me give you an example. Earlier this afternoon, while I was waiting to come here and trying to settle into my feelings, there was an outdoor music concert at Weingarten Park here in Gibson, and I was listening to the music, trying to clear and connect to my vibrational energy, as Ben would say. And by doing that, I had three or four interesting encounters. So one of them was there was obviously visitors to Gibson's, and they were sharing some of the water from our water fountain beside the park, and they were very happy to be able to have fresh water, or whatever, I thought anyways. So I went and engaged them, and they spoke English, and I said, this water comes from the aquifer that's right behind us, and they were so delighted, and they went back and all drank some more water. But from that I walked away that this was a low-hanging fruit of being in service. The next encounter was as I was sitting down on the bench listening to the Now Blues that was playing in the park, two people walked up to the piano, the public piano that's right there, right there, 5 feet away. And one guy sat down and started playing the piano on top of the music that was playing, that a bunch of people were listening. So I just looked up to them and I said, excuse me. And of course, the guy who was playing the piano instantly knew what I meant when I said that, and he stopped. But his friend was really offended that I interjected with excuse me that made his friend stop playing. And he actually took on an aggressive post. At that time, two women that were sitting beside me on the bench, sharing the bench, turned around and just couldn't believe that was happening. And actually, eventually, the one person that was playing the music stopped, got his friend, and walked away from the whole thing. And then the woman and I talked about it. And the connection was I'm sure it was a growth opportunity for those two people who were playing the piano. But the deeper connection was with the woman that was beside me. Her and I shared my opinion and her views, and we both agreed on it. And then that was gratifying. But the best part was when a certain song was playing, she said to her friend, "Oh, I used to dance to this song. We do blah blah blah." And I tapped her on the shoulder and I said, "Why don't you just get up and dance?" I said, "Let go of your ego and follow your soul." And she did. Nice. And I got a great sense of connection with that person, and how what I'm trying to do in my life, what I'm trying to live in my life, is actually I could see examples of it right there.
Nice. So honestly, that's what
puts a smile on my face.
So just basically uplifting people and making that connection with people is what you're saying, and those little moments of.
That's a good way to put it. I have a little bit different, view on life, but yes, it is. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
So, how has your view of happiness and joy changed over the years you know, I mean, whatever. Like, how's it changed?
Um, that's a good question because I'm not sure how far back to go. But let's just assume since 2010, because it seems like to me that 2010 was quite a beginning of a journey of huge challenges in my life. And I want to tell you that during those years, from 2010 to let's say 2017, my life was very tumultuous, and it was very. It wasn't really in the happy, joyful. If you think of it as a meter, the meter wasn't really pointing too much in the happy, joy kind of things. I went through a lot of things: personal growth, personal tragedies, and
Mm-hmm.
so on. That was really and unfortunately, you know, there was a price to that. But at the end, now, you know, say a year out of that, I am very grateful for all those activities that have happened to me. That I feel like a survivor through that. But at the same time, I see the gratitude in what happened in advancing my spiritual life at this point.
Nice, nice. So really, what you're saying is those challenges. Because I know, you know, I mean, you and I have talked, and obviously we've been friends for a long time, and you did have some pretty major, like crazy challenges. So, but basically, you're saying that those challenges kind of basically made you stronger, and you came through the fire probably a little bit more grounded,
Well, I
or
think it's, you know, again, Ben, you know, I read a lot and I have favorite authors and stuff, but one of the philosophies that aligns with my life is that, you know, life has three stages, and none of them are easy. At the same time, you can, once you've gone through one, you can recognize it in hindsight. I'm at the part of my life where I'm what I'm talking about since 2010 has been the transition years from the personality lifestyle that I had before to more to the spiritual life that I'm trying to lead now. And so, as the saying goes, nothing good, you know, comes easy. I truly feel that having gone through that, it wasn't easy, but I am at this point in a very nice place in my life and in my spiritual growth.
nice, nice. So what would you say, like through all those struggles? I mean, you knew where you wanted to be. You wanted to be at a place of, I mean, well, I know that you want to be have spiritual peace and just peace within yourself. So what would you say was the key to coming through the fire, so to speak? Like making it through the fire and get to the other side. And there's so many people that are struggling like that. But
Yeah.
what helped you? What was the keys to help you get through that?
Um, well, I would say that the last major event that happened in my life, the separation with my wife and I for with another soul that I've known for 32 years, been in relationship for 23 years. I think that really hit home for me, and I want to say that I want to give credit to my ex-wife for that. She actually, by having the books and the material and access to all that information, has really released me into my this level of my life, and then having gone through a separation and divorce has truly freed me from any kind of emotional energy drain that I was experiencing at that time. And now I'm more focused towards aligning my personality and with my soul and living a real spiritual life.
Hmm. So having
Yeah,
gone through the fire, well,
yeah,
for all those people that are kind of struggling, 'cause
sure.
obviously you're on the other side now.
Yes.
What would your advice be for those people?
Um, I wish that I had read several books when I was 10 years ago, let's say, because then I would have more expected and known what was coming and might have done it better. But I think if you don't know what's coming, it's
Mm,
always a struggle. And the outcome of the struggle is really depending on your intention. And as long as your intention is to be aligned with your soul, I don't think there would be any reason why you're not successful in getting through the transition or getting through those rough times.
Hmm.
So if you think of life as a dance between the soul and the ego, during the dance, one will lead, the other will follow. If the change in the lead has to be initiated, it has to be with consent. And when there isn't consent, there's chaos. And that's where your chaos comes from, is when you're not in harmony, aligned with your soul and your ego together.
Nice. I mean, with the way I think about things, I would agree. But what about for those people that are just not even really thinking about like a spiritual self or anything? They're just trying to get through the day on a physical level, like who haven't gone through so many hard things in a short period of time.
Yeah.
What would you say to those people?
I would say to those people, you have no control over what the outcome is going to be. So as soon as you surrender control and start to living by whatever the outcome is going to be, and whenever the outcome is, don't just harp on the negative side of it. There's always positive things coming out of even negative things. And as long as you still align with the positive things in your life, you will get through it. You will get through it. That was one of I don't necessarily usually share what I do, but that was a personal way that worked for me.
Well, I got to say, I've had my own struggles and things like that. And I would have to agree wholeheartedly that, you got to just kind of grasp those moments of happiness and simple moments of happiness all the time and focus on that. And things are going to be as they're going to be. And you can't control the circumstances of what's going on in the world, but you can always control your view of things. And it's a practice, right? You got to practice.
You always have a choice. Freedom of choice is huge. And you got to apply it in this case too. You always have a choice. How you choose to be affected by something or to react to something or is totally yours. As long as you're align yourself with your true connection to your soul, that choice will probably be called intuition, would be the right way to go.
Nice. Yeah. So again, going kind of basing off what we just spoke about, do you think that most people that if you're looking around the world or the people that you come into contact with, do you think most people are happy or living joyful lives, or however you want to word that?
I can't really tell you what most people, whether they're happy or not, but I know that most people will always strive to be happy or joyful and have a joyful and happy life. So, and I think just striving for that is a positive growth opportunity. Whether it ends with it or not, that's another positive growth opportunity. So just going for that is really important. And I think probably, I haven't really thought about it, but that might even help you align more with your soul's objective. And I would think that your soul's objective would be to feel happiness and joy. And so if you align yourself with that, I don't foresee any kind of downfall from that.
Nice. So again, on the same topic, talking about people that maybe are struggling with happiness or joy. So like for me, I have my rituals. Like I get up early every day. I enjoy my hot cup of coffee. I watch the sunrise, and I spend a lot of time. I'm up at 4 a.m. I don't start work till 7. And I spend a lot of time, several hours, just really appreciating life, and it puts me in a good mood, and so then all the problems of life can bounce off of me. That's my ritual. Yeah. Well, what kind of rituals do you have that, or do you think are important to kind of balance you, ground you to happiness?
Well, so this is going to get really deep. I'm hoping that people are going to be able to follow it, or you, Ben. As I was saying before, you and I talked, and people. There's a lot of things in life that we are aware of. So happy, unhappy, rich, poor, black, white. Anyways, there's lots of different things, and one of the things that really stands out for me is kind of my definition or outlook on what life is. Again, I said life is a dance between your soul and your ego. And while you're dancing, one must lead, the other one will follow. And it doesn't mean that, what that means really is that the soul can lead, and so can the ego. And then so that's one way that to think that there's going to be ups and downs, waves, as you would call it, in life, that you're going to ride those waves. And again, the only reason why it's okay is because the change of the lead is actually done with consent by the other. So then what happened is that with that kind of a outcome, that means your soul and your personality / ego are actually aligned and working together. And when you have that, you really are trying. You really are the best human that you could be, hoping to try to have the best day that you can ever have. So some days you have good days, and some days you have bad days. But it's not dependent on who's leading. It's dependent on the outcome of that dance. So a well choreographed dance with both people agreeing who to lead, and maybe even having a lead change halfway through the repertoire, might really give you great happiness in a successful choreographed dance. So you choreograph your own life.
Nice.
Get at it.
on a total side note, so I did an interview with Christina Venti, and a couple weeks ago we were dancing. We were doing some salsa dancing, and speaking about leading, switch of the lead, yeah. She always leads. She would not let me lead. So Christina Venti, next time, let me lead.
Yeah, it's more fun. Sometimes following is good.
I know, I probably should be a bit more badly about it.
No, that's you know what, and whatever. But Ben, you're letting that soul control you.
It's true.
But that's okay, because that drives your compassion side. You're a good guy.
Yeah.
But I want to lead when we're dancing too.
What's up? Oh, that's fine. Yeah. You can lead. I'll let you lead for sure. Let's see. Where are we? I kind of lost my train of thought. So yeah, nice. So overall, what would be your message in closing about happiness? If you had to say, impart some wisdom to anybody who's watching this about, because again, you've kind of been in the fire, you found your way on the other side, for all those people that are struggling, for anybody that's struggling with happiness, whatever, what would be your parting words of wisdom?
Life is really short. Life as we know it is really short. Life in this human form is really short. Your soul's life is eternal. And I think as you somehow align your soul with your personality or your ego, you're definitely going to you definitely will achieve a higher power, a spiritual power, your authentic power, they call it. And once you live in an authentic power situation, you can help a lot of souls that need to be aligned with their personality as well. So I think I'm not trying to preach. I'm just sharing what I know and feel and how I live my life. Nobody, you can't do it alone. We're designed from day one to be with somebody. So more connections, build your own tribe, make friends. Usually friends are people that your soul have connected with. All souls are friends. So connect with your tribe, connect with your friends, and if you're having still issues that are most likely driven by the physical side, by chemical imbalances, by addictions, by whatever, really the best way is to seek help from the elders and from your soul.
Well, I'm so glad you said that, because a lot of my intention with this dialogue that we started about talking about happiness is to, again, create a tribe so that we can all kind of help each other. So yes. So people like you who have a ton of wisdom to share, and I mean, I think that's what we're doing with this is creating a tribe. So thank you so much
Great.
for helping me and
Great.
to be a part of this and for being my good friend and thank you so much.
Love you too, buddy.